That's the old meeting. Okay, hang on. Yeah. No.
It should say county council meeting 2 after.
Hang on. Okay, you got a name on it?
County council meeting 2.
I'm just gonna do. There it is. I can see it on.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and start the county council meeting here. I'm going to call it to order at 5:36 p.m. We will start here. We've already said the pledge, so we won't stand up again. First piece of business up for the minutes from last month. I look for a motion to approve those as presented, or did anybody see the change? Or amendment, we can discuss that, and then we'll vote on them. So first thing up here is the minutes. If I want to make a motion to approve or see any changes that need to be completed. And there is 2 sessions here. There is 2 sets of minutes. We can take them both here at the same time.
I'll make a motion to accept the May 19th, county council minutes and also the May 28th executive session minutes.
All right, no motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Susan Harris. Any discussion, board? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye. Any opposed? All right. Next up, guys, we've budget hearings. That'll be here before you know it in August. Traditionally, we have done those probably on the 19th, 20th, and 21st of August, just right after our Tuesday night council meeting. If there's nobody's got any other ideas and someone like to, or doesn't have any conflicts, someone like to make a motion for that there, we would just go ahead and take those dates, set them so we can get them scheduled here with the auditor.
I'll make a motion that we do a budget 19th, 20th, 21st of August, 2026.
Second. All right, Fromy. All right, got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, Murray's here with the ambulance guys. He was here last time, and he's got a couple additionals. Murray, the floor is yours.
Yes, we've got one additional for the safes for the ambulances. We're required by the state to do electronic tracking on all of our narcotics. So we had to purchase new safes to put on the ambulances for that. And I think that was in the budget for $9,400, I think, something like that. $9,500.
Yeah.
And then I asked for an additional for operating for our budget for the rest of the year of $75,000, and that was due to overtime that we had to put out due to the shortage on having our paramedic staffing.
Yeah. All right, guys, and then Murray, we also have the for the grant for the ventilators.
Correct. Yeah.
So we've got 3 things, guys, here for the ambulance service that have been advertised. We have the money from the grant that we actually talked about last year, and then just now have got to. So if you look at your packet here, we have $66,000 from the grant. We didn't get the grant, so we'll need to approve that. We want to take that first and then we can take the other 2 if you want separately too. So any questions about the ventilators from Murray, or I'll look for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Dave Fromey made a motion,
I'll second.
Brian Grolick seconds. Any discussion or question for Murray? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, guys, then the next one, on the same sheet, there's two different things here, guys, 75,000, for operating, expenses in the 9,500 for the safes. Both have been advertised here. Questions for Murray, or we'll look for a motion to, approve those.
Aaron made a motion to approve the 75,000 and the $9,500.
All right. Steve Hoss made a motion that we, approve both requests. Any other, comments? I'm not looking for a motion or a second, I mean.
I'll second.
All right, Justin seconds. Any comments? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, Murray. Melissa's got a question for you.
Do you wanna address the additional you're gonna need for the septic?
The what?
Do you wanna discuss the additional you're gonna need for the septic?
Septic system.
Septic repair.
I wasn't really prepared for that one. I didn't know about that one. Jane never mentioned it.
Okay.
So.
Okay,
Next.
just so everybody knows that they've had a little problem here with the septic and they're gonna have to get it fixed. So they will be in for, it's an additional here to get that
Yeah,
fixed. So,
I know we've had people out there, we put out, for quotes on it. I think we only got one back on it. I think it was around $4,000 or $5,000 to fix it, so.
all right, thank you. All right, guys, thanks for coming, Murray. We'll start here on our sheet at the top, guys. The sheriff is here. These have been advertised. We got requesting $4,000 for uniforms to cover out, to replace worn ones. Plus they have the one, open deputy position once it's filled, so they'll need $4,000, for, uniforms. Questions for the sheriff, or we'll look for a motion to approve.
Just doing the 4,000 now for uniforms.
I figure we just take them one at a time.
Okay, all right, I'll move and we approve the 4,000 for uniforms.
All right, Dave made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Brian Grolick seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up, tires and, tubes. For the, sheriff's department, we've already currently have 11 set of tires already this year, so we're gonna run a little short on tires. Look for a motion to approve this, or questions for the sheriff.
I'll make a motion to approve tires.
All right, Fromey makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Susan seconds. Any other discussion? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, guys, always a guess, fuel prices are up, so, we're gonna have to, have a little bit more money, in the, for fuel this year for the sheriff's department. They're thinking $56,000, will, more than what we budgeted to get through the year. Any questions for the sheriff, or look for a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve 56,000.
Hoff makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Vogel seconds. Any other discussion? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, inmate, prescriptions, $36,000, additional to cover the prescriptions. Monthly costs around $4,500 for that. Question for the sheriff, she's here, and, or we'll look for a motion to approve.
That's projected till end of the year.
Yes. Yeah, and with these additionals, we won't transfer out any of these accounts, normally it's kind of our agreement, we have to do these.
Real quick, how does that work when someone has like, typically like, does Medicaid not kick in on some of this stuff? Are we out all that? How does that function?
If certain people have insurance when they come in, it'll last for a certain period of time.
Yeah.
But after that passes, once they're in the facility, then their expenses are ours.
So even if someone's like Medicaid or something like that drops,
We had one that was on HIP and it dropped in March, and then that's one of our next additionals. It incurred a $78,000 surgery for him, but unfortunately it dropped off. But our biggest expense on this one is that $1,800 a month for one medication. for one of the inmates, but everything is always medically necessary. So we run it through the doctors, and if they say it's medically necessary to keep them alive, then that's what we do.
Thank you, Sheriff, for the explanation. All right, guys, look for a motion. If there's no other questions for the sheriff to approve.
Make a motion to approve the 36,000.
Gross makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Crawley. Any other discussion or question for the sheriff? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye? Any opposed? All right. Next up here we go, we got one last here, I think, from the sheriff. This is for the, hospital stay. Like she said, we just had somebody had to have a $78,000 surgery. Estimating we're gonna need about, $109,000 to get through the rest of the year. So, any questions for the sheriff? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve. Do we have a motion to approve?
Is this person gonna be out of jail soon, running through the system?
He's gonna be there for a while, sir.
That's
Yeah.
his choice.
Oh, man, they're really working on you, Judge.
I didn't know about it. Okay, whatever.
All right, do we have a motion
I'll
to
make a
approve?
motion to approve the 109,000 for hospital.
Ronnie makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Gross seconds. All right, any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right. Moving. Yeah, I'll get the judge. He's standing right back here, patiently waiting. Judge, if you'd like, there you go. You know the drill.
I know the drill. I will tell you, we work really well with the jail commander and sheriff on getting people out. We've had a lot of major illnesses at the jail. And I know we've done electronic monitors on everybody that we can. There may be a few people that are considered dangerous and we can't do that with, but we are very mindful that it is expensive.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, the judge is kind of, when you look at this, guys, it's kind of a little bit complex. Because he put a request in for some of this stuff because he's had a lot of jury trials, this year. So he put in for 12,500, and then this same line item, after we realized we're gonna have more jury trials, we put in for another 7,000. So, the judge has a request in for jurors and juror fees of, let's see, 19,500. So we can take those two together, because they both come out of the same thing. He just has had to put in, two requests because we have so many, jury trials this year.
And in fairness, just to explain, we are $6,631.65 underwater right now. That's not been budgeted over for the jury trials we've already had. You all worked with us, and we got our local vendors paid because we try to shop at home.
Right.
Provide meals from the local restaurants to help support them too, but, so we're already 6,000 something underwater, and so then we anticipate 1 to 2 more trials this year, so that's why we're asking for the extra amount.
Yeah, all right, guys, so he's got two requests here. Thank you, Judge. He's got the 12,500 plus the 700 for 19,500 for jurors, or pettit jurors, and then we also have for lodging and meals, a request in for 5,000, 1,500, so 6,500, to get those two things, A, get our bills caught up, and B, take care of them. So, any questions for the judge? If not, I would be willing to take both those requests at the same time.
I'll move that we pay everything that you just mentioned, the total amount $31,000. I'll make a motion to approve that.
All right, Noble makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Gross seconds. All right, any other discussion or questions for the judge while he's here? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye? Any opposed? All right, if you look at our additional sheet, let me check this off there. We also have, $5,000, for law books, guys. And we had to move that because it was in CUNY. So we had to move that to, county general. It's been advertised, and we would look for a motion to approve the $5,000 or questions for the judge. If anybody has one on the law books, while he's here, and what he has to get. Huh?
Approve the whole 31,000.
Oh,
that your motion, David?
Yeah,
oh, you proved, okay, law books were in that, all right.
they were in there, the whole 30, yeah, 31, that's my number.
Okay,
And I think last time I wasn't here, I think Justin had a question about whether we have things online, and everything that we have is online except for one set of statutes, and it's like 50 volumes that get updated. It's the ones, the laws the legislature passes. We have to keep something for self-represented litigants to look at, and it's kind of like one set of statutes, that's all we've got. Everything else is online.
Gotcha. I just remember like
Yeah.
going through like budget time and seeing
Sure.
what, and
Yeah.
that was one of the questions.
They're just
I wanted to
super
clarify.
expensive to update.
those update yearly, Judge?
Yeah, and sometimes twice a year, depending on how often the legislature acts and when they go into effect.
Okay, all right. I think that's all we got for the judge. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. I had one transfer, but you do those later.
I didn't see a transfer.
It was no money, it was just going from, junior court reporter to senior court reporter. You remember that one?
No.
35,000 transfer from junior to 35,000 to senior. I don't know if you
I'll
got
check,
that.
we may have done that at the last meeting.
May have done that
I'll
already.
check it.
All right, thank you all. Have a good evening.
All right, thank you for
Yeah.
coming, Judge. Good to see you. All right, guys, moving down here on our stuff we've got next. We talked about this last time. We made the motion to advertise it, and you can advertise the sheriff's ballistic vest, or they can take large rifle rounds. We've got 36,960 because our other ones are expired. We had a little money out of Riverboat, and have advertised out there. Questions for the sheriff if we got it. If not, we'll look for a motion to approve as advertised.
Motion. Making a
Probably
motion.
makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any questions or discussion for the sheriff? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye.
Aye.
All right, anybody opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, guys, here we go. The, next in here, guys, there's two, I'll have to take these separate because they do go into two different accounts. And I think I'll just let Sherry speak to them, but it's, some money seizure stuff, and she wants to put them into, a couple accounts where they go. Sherry, would you like to speak to that real quickly, please?
Yeah, the first one for 2006-37, we received, and should be attached, a court order. This was seizure money. Certain portion of it comes to us, a certain portion goes to the general fund, and then another portion, I think, goes to another organization. You'll have to forgive me, I can't catch it fast enough, but it's money that's already sitting in general. We're just asking for it to be moved into our law enforcement drug fee, so that, or drug fund, so that we can spend it on those types of activities.
All right, guys, we'll take the first one here for the 23-37-63, that goes into account 1133.51. Can I get a motion to approve that as presented?
I'll make the motion.
All right, Susan makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Romy seconds. Any discussion?
38.
26-37-63.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
638.
yeah, rounds up. Yeah, she rounded up. 26-38. Okay. Is that fine, Susan? We can just make it 26-38. Dave, you okay with that? All right. We'll just make
It
it
doesn't
20.
have to be.
All right, round it up. All right, everybody in favor, aye? Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. All right, we got another one, guys, and this goes into drug investigation 4912-2222. And this here is also drug forfeiture money, and let's see, 4484 for a dollar amount. Look for a motion to approve as presented or as advertised, or for just questions for the sheriff.
Motion to approve as advertised.
All right, Justin made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, that's all the additionals I have on my list. Oh, corner, we skipped the corner. Is Layla here? Oh, okay. All right, guys, this is just to pay for when, before Layla got the ambulance, transportation costs that we had to take somebody to get an autopsy or anything, or take them from the county cooler to where we had to do. She won 160 originally. Melissa did a little math to help her. We need that, and Melissa advertised the Hope 500 here on our additional sheet because that's kind of what we need to get squared up here even on the deal. So that's why it's been advertised for 500 for transportation. Look for a motion to approve that.
Make a motion to approve that.
Steve makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, everybody in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, that now is all the additionals that I have on the list. Anybody else see one? All right, thank you, folks. All right, I have no, let's see, legal report. Andrew, anything you want to add? What, Steve, what'd you say?
As a commissioner.
That's the ambulance. And Maureen went first.
Oh, this. All right. Nothing, Andrew. Okay, thank you.
Did we figure out with the resolution for Superior Ag, since we didn't do one, we gave them an abatement, how are we gonna correct that?
So I need to double check. I'm not sure if ERA maps were created for those. There is a statute that allows you to waive that after the fact if there was an error in the process. I don't know if we ever had an ERA. I didn't get with Melissa to go through it, but I know there's a process to correct it.
I thought with any abatement, I thought we needed to do this.
You need to create an ERA and then essentially do this basic process, yes, but there is a statute that allows you that if it was done incorrectly,
Okay.
after the fact, to go back and cure those errors by basically kind of redrawing the map.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if maps were created in the first place. That's where I didn't get that confirmed yet. If the maps were there, then we might already be okay, but if they're not, then we can do additional
Okay,
resolutions.
thank you.
All right, any other questions for the attorney? All right, hearing none, we'll move on down. Old business. This is where we'll address the, ERA, agreement, for the real and personal, abatement here, for Bluegrass. All right, guys, as it is presented here tonight, on the back page is the, Exhibit B is the updated, just for, and final ERA area, which is, the kind of, the lighter highlighted areas there, off of 400 and right off of 0231, just for noting. And the other thing, this is prepared on a standard, 10-year phase-in abatement for personal and real property, like we have done for, previous things. This does not mean that has to be adopted that way. We can ask questions at this point to the Tenaska people, or we can proceed with a motion if somebody wanted to make a motion. Does anybody have questions? I guess would be the first
On
proper thing.
the whole thing?
Yes, it's one item. So
Okay,
we do this as one item, and then we adopt the whole thing. It's one resolution, 2026-04. It's one unit, one whole resolution. But at this point, if we have questions, this would be the time we would ask.
all right. So first question from you here. We're looking to do a combination of an abatement and an economic development agreement. Those two coincide. We can't have one without the other. Not approving one will not, can't do one, right? I mean, that's my understanding. Okay.
Correct.
And we are not, releasing the numbers of the economic development agreement at this time, right? What's been talked about or anything, right? We don't want to talk about that, okay?
I don't know, I mean, commissioners are gonna have it prepared, but I do not know if it's been prepared yet.
Right, but if we're talking about two things that have to do with the money, the fiscal body of the county, we probably ought to be talking about them both together and working on them together as one unit. Because it's my understanding that if we give them a tax abatement, they're gonna make up for that tax abatement over here on the economic development agreement, okay? But the problem is, the economic development agreement monies will not apply towards the amount of property tax or less property tax that the residents of the county would pay, correct? Right?
It does not affect your total levy, correct?
Okay, so the money that they're paying over here is doing nothing more than creating additional revenue for the county and not lowering the taxes for the citizens of the county, correct?
Well, it can be used for that.
Okay.
It can
but-
be used, I mean, it's our discretion. We can definitely use it to lower taxes.
Okay, so we're
Or
gonna
you
give
can do it
them,
For an economic development
we're
project.
gonna give them a discount on property taxes, and they're gonna pay it over here. So they're not getting they're not getting a break, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
I say total dollars paid will be less than.
Okay, so they're not getting a break because they're gonna pay, instead of paying property taxes, they're gonna pay economic development agreement over here, so they're not saving money. Tenaska's not saving money, right? Am I understanding that? Am I understanding that correctly? Tenaska's not getting a discount in the whole scheme of things when you add
Why?
the discount here and what they're gonna pay over here. Right? Because they're gonna pay for that discount over here.
Well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily? Okay,
What they pay over here is voluntary. That's not, I mean, they could.
I understand that.
that.
but what they pay over there doesn't help our taxpayers. Okay?
We can use it to pay bills.
We can, but,
And lower the levy. We don't have to max the levy out every year. We did it the other year. We lowered the levy by, what was it, 600,000 and tax rate came down to, I mean.
okay, so if they're gonna pay money over here, why would we not have them just pay property tax? What's the advantage to the taxpayers of this county who we work for here? What's the advantage to the taxpayers of this county to let them pay over here and not pay towards property tax?
So it's all the same money, it just goes.
But it's not the same money, okay?
That's your.
No, because it's either money that the taxpayers are paying or not paying. Okay? So what is the advantage to not charging property tax and charging the money as an economic development? What's the advantage to the taxpayers?
At the end of the day, it'll be net neutral. I mean, you can. Be
Okay.
net neutral.
You didn't answer the question. What is the advantage to the taxpayers of the county who we work for? What is the advantage to them to have Tenaska not pay property tax, but pay the money over in an economic development agreement? What is the advantage to the taxpayers?
We can do more things with the economic development.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna,
It's not part of your.
so we're gonna create more taxes, we're gonna create more revenue for the county government, create it bigger, right? That's what we're gonna do with the economic development agreement versus just them paying property
What's your
tax.
proposal?
I'm asking a question. I want you guys to justify why the residents of the county are gonna, or how they're gonna benefit from a tax abatement, even if they're already gonna pay the money over here. So what's the advantage to the tax abatement?
What's the advantage of the tax abatement?
Yes.
Well, it's gonna lower their taxes, it's gonna. It's
Okay,
it's gonna
not to
drive our-
Tenaska, because they're gonna pay the same amount of money. Okay, they're gonna pay either here or over here, okay? What is the advantage to the taxpayers of the county to give Tenaska a tax abatement?
Well, we can take some of this money that you get from some of this stuff and probably do some one-time expenditures to help the community grow.
Okay? Is there,
We're gonna promote economic development with some of this money. You ever
Okay.
heard of that? EDA, economic development.
right, we already used part of the taxpayers' property tax for economic development
We're
already,
gonna use it for one-time things to help.
okay? But we already used property tax money for economic development in the county, correct?
Very little.
But you do, right? So that is a possibility, to use that money there. So we can't say that this money is going to be used for that or whatever, because it could be. Nobody yet has justified to me why we don't want them to pay the property tax and lower the property tax of the counties, the residents, and have them pay over here. It's not, I'm not asking them for more money. I'm asking for the same amount of money as they're gonna pay, but I'm asking what benefit to the taxpayers is the abatement?
Can I give an example?
If you would like,
Heather Grace, Spencer County Commissioner, and from my understanding in regards to an EDA agreement versus collecting the taxes. It helps us to keep our levy tax where it is, our levy cap. That way you can only capture so much. So if this is a $1 billion company at this said tax rate, we're only allowed to capture at the tax rate that we have,
we can only raise the levy.
we
The levy
we
amount.
can't, and it only can raise so much
3 or
per
4%.
year.
3 or 4%.
So if you bring more on than what our levy cap allows, then it passes on to outside of our taxpayers. Is that correct?
No.
Yes, it is correct. David, do you wanna?
It's kind of complicated.
Please educate, please educate. That's what I'm asking for, is the explanation to how our residents are gonna benefit from this.
We can only raise whatever our tax levy. I don't have the number right in front of me, but I think by 2034, it's like, let's say, for the county general, it's like $11 million or something. So if you put more assessed evaluation in the thing, I mean, you're still only gonna generate $11 million
Okay, so
for the county general part of the fund. So if you can take this other money and then do some kind of economic development or improve the community with it, because you can only raise $11 million. It doesn't
Right.
matter how much assessed evaluation.
So the whole idea behind this is to generate more revenue for the county.
Well, I mean, if you wanna do some projects, the cost of business is going up more than 3% a year. So, and if you wanna, or wanna get ahead, you're gonna have to do something else, because the levy's going up at 3.5%, and the business is, and the cost of doing business is going up at 5%.
So the whole
Or
purpose
6%.
is to generate more revenue for the county and create more, right?
With the EDA.
I mean, yes,
Yeah.
that will. I mean,
And we're also not going to lower the taxes of the tax burden of our residents.
No, the tax rate will go down.
But the tax rate, okay, we have to collect a certain amount every year,
No, we don't. We do like whatever we want.
okay?
Well, we're just levying on the maximum amount we can.
We're talking maximum.
What,
That's the only thing that they control.
What they don't
They tell
pay-
us the maximum amount we can raise. They don't tell you got to raise it, but that's the most you can raise.
okay, but the part that they don't pay, you and me and everybody else, every resident in the county has to make up for the part that they don't pay, right? So once again, why not have them pay property tax and lower the tax burden of everybody in the county and maybe make the EDA smaller?
Well, with the exception of the first year, they are gonna be paying property taxes.
Okay, why not more?
Well, it's very similar to what we just went through with the ARPA money. You know, the federal government sent us $4 million, and we had some discretionary on how we could spend that. How did we spend it? We bought stuff that we normally would have had to pay for out of our funds. And that helped our funds stay larger, and that allowed us to give really nice raises to our police and our employees and different things, but we didn't have to buy $350,000 ambulances out of that fund. We bought it out of the ARPA money, which is something you can do with the economic development. You can actually pay for things that we don't have to pay for out of our fund. And that frees up money in our fund to do these.
But we are paying for them, because we're taking the money that would normally be put in, paid by property taxes, they're paying it over here, we're gonna use that to buy ambulances, as your example was. We're still paying for them. Even if they paid property taxes, we would use that property taxes to buy the ambulance, right?
All right, anybody else got a comment?
I still haven't been told as to how this is gonna
I
benefit,
told you 3 times.
I don't think you have.
Anybody else got a comment?
I got a couple clarifying questions if you guys don't care. So I've called a couple other Tenaska areas around, and I guess I haven't heard anything here locally, but I mean, the big buzzword right now is data centers. And like out in Nebraska, possibly out in Ohio, you guys are building data centers right next to these natural gas. Is this a plan that you guys plan to do here locally in Spencer County or not?
We have no connection with the data center as part of this project. We're developing this as a standalone natural gas combined central power plant.
Okay, period. So no plans for that. I guess And then the other thing too is I had a question on the ERA map, the second one. There is a parcel included into that, and I know Andrew's talked about it, but it's not zoned correctly, in my opinion. There's a small parcel that's still residential, which the project's by. Whenever I look at all the rest of the ERAs in the past, they've all, like Granby Solar, I'll use that as an example. Because that's one of the last ones, and I'm fairly familiar with that. Most of those parcels, even if they had solar panels or infrastructures, just because it was part of the project, they were still zoned, like different zone, not outside of residential. So I guess, could you explain a little bit how that part doesn't need to be zoned, why that can stay a residential parcel? And Andrew, if you wanna go on public record to let everyone know why that parcel itself doesn't have to be when everything else in the ERA does have to be. I think that's a.
ERAs don't have any connection to zoning. There's nothing in the statute that says an ERA has to be residential or industrial. You could have a complete mix of the properties. The whole point of the ERA is the finding that it is economically needs revitalization, etc. So whether it's zone residential, whether it's zone industrial, doesn't matter towards the ERA. Now, talking about the abatements, you could factor that in and say, I don't think they're going to be able to provide what they're going to provide because there's a residential parcel right in the middle or whatever. That's not going to affect it. But there is no requirement that everything be uniformly zoned a certain way. There's no, yeah.
I guess I was just concerned, like, why as a county, we're like very inconsistent with this sort of stuff. And it just, I don't want something, we pass this and move forward, then something else come back. So I guess, do I need to like go before planning commission, try to get it rezoned before the project gets underway? What's the best, for ERA, fine. I see what you're coming from, but longevity of the project, should that parcel be rezoned for them to utilize the ground?
Well, I think you could condition part of the resolution on proper zoning for that parcel if you wanted. I don't know enough about the practicalities of the project about whether that one parcel is gonna be, if it's never rezoned, whether that's gonna be prohibited for them to move forward. I just don't, that would probably be a question for them.
Commission and commissioners.
Yeah, or potentially, I don't know what its purpose is. Yeah, but I'm just saying it in terms of the ERA, you don't need a specific.
But for us, it doesn't take any precedence.
You can factor it into whether you think they are, because part of the analysis that you do bring in there, on the SB1 and things like that, is your concerns about whether they will. Whether they will deliver on the things that they are going to provide. You can say, well, I see that you're not properly zoned. I don't think you're gonna have a plant, so I'm not going to agree to that. But you can also say, well, I think that's gonna be rezoned. It's all weighing at this point. I'm not saying.
The planning and zoning should hold them accountable for what they're gonna use.
And I'm on that, I can talk with them and see what considerations. I guess the only other thing too is I had questions or comments about, even with an abatement, with the 10-year phase in abatements, you got like, taxpayers are saving some money. So I'm gonna look at the 10-year schedule, and over the course of 10 years, and I took an average, like I took like my parents' home that's like, because it's assessed value when you look at the property card, like after depreciation or deductions, like their house is roughly $75,000 net assessed value. So over the course of 10 years versus having without Tenaska, with Tenaska, just based off the average increase of assessed value, with the 10-year phase in abatement, they would be saving 7.8% on their property taxes. The big thing the big misnomer on everything is if we don't give them an abatement, their property taxes would go down 20.7% on their property taxes. So yes, even with an abatement, you are saving money, but I'm a little bit, once you break down the numbers, it kind of baffled me to see how much or how little of an abatement. And then it goes back to my point. Was there any discussion, any negotiating between us or anyone else on the board for anything other than a 10-year abatement? Like I looked at numbers for a 5-year abatement that other counties have done that I ran the numbers on. Was there anything that any of us have ever tried to talk to you guys about trying? So you try to find the happy medium of abatement, try to be friendly to business, but also try to take care of our taxpayers. So that's my biggest holdup, is like trying to find the right balance. So I was just curious, has there ever been any discussions from?
All of the discussion, and actually the standard abatement was what was presented to us. And so that's essentially the reason that we.
Who presented that?
So a number of folks had said this is how the council, or how the county normally operates when it comes to tax abatements, and this is what we would generally be comfortable.
Okay.
And when we looked at it, we agreed that that would work for us.
Okay, so, I mean, like, yeah, without Tenasco, we use it as a baseline, 5-year, I suggested a 5-year phase-in is what mine, when you look at some of the northern counties. As a baseline, it would drop the taxes down 13.5%. With the phase-in 10-year, you would drop it 7.8% and no abatement. If we just give them anything, no abatement is, we would save taxpayers 20.7% on average, based off of a whole bunch of theory, like just tipper baseline of our assessed value going up 3%, that sort of thing. So those are some of the numbers I hope the council will take into consideration.
One last quick question for Tenasca. Would you consider anything less than a 10-year abatement?
Yeah, I mean, again, all of the discussions up to this point have been standard 10-year abatement. There hasn't really been any other discussion outside of that, so it'd be hard for me to say shooting from the hip, yes or no. Just because, again, when we looked at the numbers and when the other individuals that we talked with in the county had looked at the numbers, this is what everybody had said, this works on both sides. And so, I really couldn't say without getting a better understanding of what that would look like, because there's a number of different aspects that play into that.
I guess the main question is, if we did a smaller abatement or no abatement or whatever, other than the 10-year, would that stop this project dead in its tracks?
I can say that it would significantly reduce the probability of this investment coming into Spencer County. It's very, very important. And that's
Even
why-
though we would just take the money from pay less money over on the EDA to make up for it. I mean, we gotta look at the whole picture. So if we gave you less of an abatement than the 10-year phase-in that was told this is what we have to do anyways, if we did less than that and charge you more over here and just said, hey, pay less over here, so in the, both of them added together equal the same, would that stop the project? If you paid the same, you can just pay less over here, more over there?
There's details to work out in terms of the economic development, agreement. But just want to reiterate, the importance of the 10-year traditional abatement, which is, a very common standard abatement term, to this project. For
Spencer County, but not necessarily all Tenasca projects, right?
No, not necessarily, no. But
Yeah, because there's been several that have had no abatement, right? You've got Tenasca projects out there with no abatement, correct?
That's rare.
But it is true, right?
We have, many projects, and the ones that I've worked on all typically have abatements.
A abatement, not necessarily the 10-year phase-in abatement, just a abatement.
Yeah, there's just a lot of.
There's a lot of different, yeah, we can do anything we want, yeah.
Steve, you got any comment you'd like to make? Brian? Susan? Dave?
I'm good.
All right, guys.
I will say, I've listened to all these comments out here and most of them are valid. And especially if you live close to where it's gonna be. But, what we're doing here this evening is, basically just two things. Are we gonna give an abatement? And if we are, what's it gonna be? That's the only thing that on the table for us this evening.
The only thing on the table is a 10-year abatement, right?
That's what the
That's what
resolution.
So there is no other, like,
No, there's no other resolution. This,
Yeah.
either this passes or it doesn't.
Yeah, so it's,
Well, there's always motion. I mean, you can move and say, I'll amend to the resolution with this language, and we'd have to reduce it to writing, but you can, you basically motion as presented, motion with amendments, or motion to table, or your three actions. Or discuss forever, I guess is the fourth option.
Right. You all are a pretty tight timeline. You need this to kind of move forward pretty quickly, correct?
correct.
Let's not work on her timeline.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got the resolution, as presented here. You all heard Andrew's, things, of what we could do here. If nobody else, has a comment, you do have to move forward with a decision, of what we wanna do here. So, I'll leave it, I guess, leave it open to the, council here. If someone wants to make a motion, or an amendment to this thing, on what we wanna do, how do we wanna proceed at this time? All right, anybody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2026-4.
All right, you got a motion? Is that as presented, Dave?
Yes, as presented, yeah.
All right, Dave has made a motion to present resolution 2026-04 as presented. Do we have a second? All right, I'll call again. Dave's made a motion to, approve resolution, 2026-04 as presented. Do I have a second? We work under Robert's Rule of Modified Order. I will second the motion. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Everybody opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Steve, did you vote
I'd like to see it table.
for that?
So you can,
So then I'll vote no.
All right, motion fails.
what was?
Thank you much.
All right, we'll have to, at this point, go back to the drawing board, I guess, and, figure out what we, can do as a council to work with them on a, potentially different, thing. On the commissioners are gonna work with them on the EDA, so we will, we'll have to, and Andrew, what would you recommend at this point?
So I think you'll have to go through the process again. If there's another resolution, it have to be preliminary, another public hearing based off of what that language is. Those don't have to be at scheduled 1 month increments, but they do have to be sent. The preliminary had to be mailed to the taxing districts within a certain period of time. So if there's another proposed preliminary resolution, then that would be brought up at some type of meeting, either special or
next
regular.
meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's got that under control for now. I guess, we can, go back to working on that under old business, at future meetings. All right, that's got that. Anybody, got any new business?
I got a question. Is there a way that we can make it to where we linked it? It says that they're independent from each other and one's not gonna, cancel one or the other out. Is there a way that we can link them together and put them together in the same resolution? This is the money for the economic development agreement. This is the abatement together, not talk about them separately, talk about them together and make one.
Yeah, you can condition on anything, like, you can make it conditional upon them agreeing to the EDA first or whatever. Yeah, you can consider them all at the same time, potentially the joint session of both bodies, maybe the same day. But yeah.
Commissioner, you got an opinion on that?
I do. Thank you. My opinion in regards to the EDA is it's stated as approval through the commissioners. And that is a contract between the commissioners and Tenaska. So that is my opinion in regards to your resolution. Did you want anything further? I think that it would be helpful if a description of an EDA is explained. I know Romy has brought a lot of information to the table, which are good questions. Everyone in the room has had very good questions. But I think it goes back to we need to educate ourselves on these different terms and what they mean. EDA, levy cap, abatements, what our county would look like if there weren't any projects coming in 5 to 10 years. I think everyone in this room has a voice that they should share, but also understand all of the responsibilities that we as elected officials carry on for our taxpayers. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anything else? All right.
Is here just information?
Yes. All right. Anything else, guys? All right, new business. Anybody got any new business? All right. That's all I got. I will look for a motion to adjourn, at 6:26.
Motion to adjourn.
Cromie made a motion. I have a second. Second by Susan. Everybody in favor? Aye. Any opposed?